Can't see the clock, though. It looks like it's after stuff. I don't know, yeah.
No,
That's all right. That's all, that's it. I'm relaxed. I don't need a gavel. We're waiting on Kevin and she, yeah. We'll just give them one more, all right?
They're under personnel.
They're on the personnel. You don't have to give it. So, I got an email, I think she's forwarding an email from this people on.
Yeah.
And I thought.
Yeah, that did.
Good so far. Okay, call to order. The meeting of the South Hunter Regional Board of Education is called to order. Adequate notice as required by the Open Public Meetings Act was provided on December the 5th, 2022 by posting the notice with the respective clerks of the city of Lambertville, Borough of Stockton, and Township of West Amwell, and advertised on December the 8th, 2022 in the Hunterdon County Democrat and the Trenton Times newspaper. Roll call.
Jennifer Baxter.
Here.
Dennis.
Here.
Peter Bichetti.
Here.
Brian Keys.
Here.
Kevin Kowalski.
Here.
Michael Strauss.
Here.
Megan Wood.
Here.
Tony Reno. King Gallup.
All right. Stand for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do you have any PTO, PTA, or LEF reports this evening? Come on up. Yep. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Kate Mrzensky. I'm here on behalf of LAF. Not much news. We gave out all the awards at the last board meeting. We were very pleased to do so. And I think the kids will have some really exciting things to report back to you in the fall about how they spent their summer. So we look forward to hearing about their adventures. We're turning our attention to our second biggest fundraiser of the year, which is our golf day. It will be Monday, September 30th. That's a little unusual. Usually we are the first Monday in October, but that was not going to work out for the for Heron Glen this year. And we are going to bring back for the second time our family-friendly 9-hole tournament on Sunday evening. We're hoping the Ramblers have a bye that week. So if anyone can pull those strings, that'd be great. Because we'd like to get more interest. But the small group of kids that we had last year really enjoyed it. And the course was really good about it. They made a really nice experience for everyone. And our last bit of news is that the communication board, which the LAF granted for to be installed outside of the new elementary school, is in the final stages, I think, of manufacturing and is about to be installed. We saw some mock-ups of it. It looks fantastic. It provides a board for communication where there's a language barrier or a communication barrier, and has all types of relevant communications that you might want to find in an outdoor space between kids and parents, adults and adults. And it was brought to us by, I believe it was the then Lambertville Elementary School special education teacher. So it was a great grant and we were pleased to fund it. And I think when the building is ready, that'll be installed on the playground. Right. That's it.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
It's a 9-hole tournament. Is that like a under 18 thing or is that?
No,
open-ended?
in fact, you have to have you need an adult to drive the cart. So
Oh, all right.
if you want to come play, we would love to have you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Look forward to hearing more.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, it's non-competitive. So even if you're
That's
doing the
big.
sport,
You have
right way to
a
go.
golf course. I'm not competitive too. So.
That's great.
Okay. Any other PTO or PTA reports? Not, we'll, move on to our correspondence. We have, several, items of correspondence that are posted, online with the agenda. With that, we'll go to approval of minutes. So I need a motion to approve the minutes of our, meeting from May the 20th. Moved by Mark, thank you. Second. The second by Kevin, thank you. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. We also need a motion to approve the executive session. I'm not sure we made both at the same time.
So
Megan, thank you. And a second, please.
second.
Thank you, Martha, thank you. Any discussion on the executive session? No discussions. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. With that, we come to the superintendent's update.
Just a few slides I have as we wrap up the year. So it was a great graduation for the class of 2024. We beat the heat. I know a lot of graduations were last week and it was a rough week with weather. So it was an awesome ceremony. We wound up moving it to the morning. It was a great job. Kids did a great job. Everyone that was there did a great job. So we wish our class of 2024 well in their future endeavors. I just want to remind everyone, climate survey. So I've been sending out different reminders. There is a link, which I'll send this out tomorrow to everyone like I always do. But it is the deadline. It will close on June 30th. It's been open for about a month. So if you have not had the opportunity to fill out the climate survey, please do so. Keeping in mind, it's for staff, parents and community members, as well as students. So if you have a child as well who hasn't filled it out, grades 3 and above, they're more than welcome to do it as well. And then we'll be sharing the results, summaries of the results of that, hopefully at, if not our August meeting, definitely in September. I sent this out right at the end of the year. I know there's a lot of questions, obviously, with a lot of changes going into 24-25. So there is a link here for it. I'm not going to open up and go through everything, but there were a few things that I just wanted to highlight. Some key dates that are coming up. So, you know, a lot of questions about when will I find out my child's teacher or when will schedules be available. So that will happen on August 14th. It will be via OnCourse. We'll share more information about that as we get closer. We will be having an open house for the South Hunterdon Regional Elementary School on August 15th. We'll have morning, evening tours where folks, anyone will be welcome, community members, whoever would like to come and see the building as we unveil it after our renovation is completed. One thing that's new this year, I've been communicating with kindergarten parents, but if you are aware of any folks that have a child that's going into kindergarten, spread the word. We're starting a kindergarten camp this year. We've never done this before. It will be August 19th to the 22nd from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It is free for any of our kindergartners that are coming in. Our teachers, one in the audience right now, will be facilitating camp, our 3 kindergarten teachers for next year. There is a link to sign up. So there is a registration, just so we have an idea of how many numbers we'll have. We will also be providing transportation for anyone who would normally get transportation during the school year. So again, we'll continue to kind of put that out there, but if you know of anyone who has kindergartner, make sure they sign up. It's a great way to have orientation into the new building and, you know, obviously into the kindergarten experience. Bus information will be available in OnCourse on August 23rd for folks that will be getting transportation. We'll be having preschool orientation. So Monday, August 26th from 9 to 10:30 will be for our students who are attending preschool at the new elementary school, and then 11 to 12:30 for our students who are attending preschool at West Amwell next year. We'll be having an ice cream social and kind of find your classroom. So, you know, at this point by August 26th, students will know who their classroom teacher is for our elementary school. So they'll have a chance to come in, parents as well. Again, walk the building, find the room that their teacher is going to be in and check it out. We'll be doing the same for our 5th and 6th graders who will be at West Amwell. So we'll break the ice and then find their classroom. These will both be PTO sponsored events. So they'll be sponsoring refreshments and other things that are going on there. That will be on Monday, August 26th as well, but in the evening from 5:30 to 6:30. We did try to, if you notice, we know parents might have students at multiple levels, so we know taking off work can be challenging. We tried to organize everything in one day. So if a parent has a preschooler and then maybe let's say a fifth grader, obviously they're only taking off work maybe one day instead of 2 or 3 during summer. Seventh grade orientation, we'll have 2 times, August 14th at 4 p.m. and August 19th at 1 p.m. We'll be providing more information to our incoming seventh graders as we get closer. And then we're doing something new this year. So on Wednesday, September 4th, which will be the second day of school, from 5 to 7 p.m. here at the high school, we're going to have a 7th and 9th grade barbecue for our students and our parents. From 5 to 6, we'll be eating and barbecue. Will be fun. Our staff will be here as well. And then from 6 to 7, parents will be going with folks from the administration to learn about the academic program. You're going to be hearing a lot about dual enrollment, which is a huge push this year. And then our students will have the opportunity to visit clubs, sports, activities, kind of an activity fair where they go from table to table. Our club advisors will be here and really to find out what is of interest to them. And hopefully they hit the ground running where, they can sign up for different things and participate in the fall season, depending upon what that activity is. So we're really excited about that. That's going to be sponsored by our new district PTO as well. So they're planning on that behind the scenes. I know this is a big question for parents, especially for the elementary school. This was in the FAQ, but we will have before and after care options. The YMCA will be housed at the new elementary school. Lambertville Academy is still an option as well. And as you know, if you participated in the past, they come and pick the kids up and walk them down to the academy. So there's a lot of different options for students who are at West Amwell School, whether it's our preschoolers or our 5th and 6th graders. If they are going to be participating in these programs, we will transport them as well. Traditionally, if you look at numbers, we find talking to Lambertville Academy and the Y, most of the kids that participate are preschool through 4th grade. Not as much in 5th and 6th, but there are links here. So I know folks, want to get this set up as quickly as possible. You can click on the links and register and then have a spot. The good news is this will solidify and guarantee that everyone has aftercare. In the past, Lambertville Academy has had the tendency to fill up and then not have spots for folks. So we wanted to make sure that we had the YMCA as well. And that way there's no issues with any parent who needs aftercare or before care having those resources. And then this is something that's really important as well. I just want to reiterate, we'll reiterate as we get closer to the school year. We spent a lot of time administratively and even as a board, really analyzing what we ask parents to buy, especially at the pre-K 6 level. And we came to the conclusion that it's a lot, right? And if you have 2 or 3 students and, you're spending $75 or $85 on supplies or a supply kit, we understand with everything else, what our activity fee that we charge for activities, it can add up pretty quickly. So what we're saying to families is really for the fall, for grades pre-K to 6, we're looking for students to have a backpack, maybe headphones, a reusable water bottle, and whatever they're going to use for their lunch. And besides that, we're going to provide everything else. So whether it's index cards or Post-its or whatever it may be, writing utensil, whatever, we're going to have that. We've been working with our teachers and working on developing grade level supply lists that we will have the ability to help take that burden off parents, which I know it can be difficult. 7-12, teachers will communicate supply needs as they've done in the past at the start of the year. And, we'll go from there as far as supply. But pre-K 6, it'll be a little bit different than it's been in the past. And then the last thing I want to mention, we will be going through a website transition. So probably, talking to Mr. Cifelli, either late afternoon this Friday, definitely by Monday. When you click on our website, it's going to look different than it's looked in the past. We're going to be sharing more information about that as we move forward. We are moving to a platform called Parent Square. It will control all of our websites, the 3 schools, the district website, as well as parent communication. There's a lot of different features with it. Parents won't really see a difference on their side, but from our side, different nuances that we'll be learning over the summer as far as communication to parents. So I just wanted to make you aware, if you click on our websites, it will look a little different. We'll be building out the content over the summer. And obviously they'll be ready to launch for the upcoming school year, which we're really excited about. We're hoping board, school, and community committee have been working on this over the last several months, giving feedback as far as access and easily to be able to navigate and having important information that's available. The nice thing about Parent Square, it is really mobile. So we know parents and students for that matter, everything's on your phone. So this has a nice mobile app appearance to it. So you'll be able to access it as an app and then be able to scroll through just like you would other social media sites or whatever it may be, which right now what we use, School Messenger, does not allow us to do that. It's not really mobile friendly. So that is all I have. Any questions from the board? Remember
I have a question.
Yep.
So and just like really point of clarification for parents. For parents who have students in 5th or 6th, which website do
Middle
they
school.
go to?
Middle school.
The middle school
Yep.
website?
And even 7 and 8, we're really gonna start
Okay,
moving in that direction, even though we're split between 2 buildings, but it's important to kind of start separating those two. So they
Okay.
go to the middle school. Yep.
Any other questions on Mr. Shulo's report? Okay. So that brings us to the first period of public comment. This is an opportunity for you folks, if you have something you would like to bring before the board, please just come up to the podium. Let us know your name, the community you're from, and we ask that you try to keep your remarks to about 3 minutes. And we may be able to answer them if there's a short answer, otherwise we will get back and take them under consideration and get back to you. Is there anybody who would like to bring something before the board this evening?
Hi, I'm Kate Marzensky from West Amwell. I just had a question about in-service days, and I was wondering if you might be able to tell us how they're used and if there is budgeting for the development programs that the teachers spend their time on those days.
They're used in a lot of different ways. I can talk to you a little bit about August 27th, 28th, and 29th that will be coming up. Ms. Lennon is actually planning them, but just to kind of give you a quick overview, we will be rolling out Encore's Classroom this year, which will replace Google Classroom.
Mhm.
The positive of that is now that parents will have access to all of their students' assignments in advance rather than seeing them after the fact in the grade book. So we'll be rolling that out to grades 5 through 12. We're rolling out a new ELA curriculum, which is going to be Wit and Wisdom, which you've heard about in previous meetings. So we've had training already on that, but there'll be some refresher training that goes along with that as well that we're looking at. We'll be doing some training with our paraprofessionals on and some other staff with CPR certifications and our bus drivers as well. We're going to incorporate that. We will be providing some classroom time. So keeping in mind that we do have a large staff that's moving into a brand new building, we are going to allocate a good amount of time on one particular day for them to get set up in their classrooms and kind of, be able to get set for our students. We always meet with staff as an opening to start the school year all together in our auditorium, and we started a new tradition last year where we're celebrating our staff for years of service and recognition, along with kind of laying out our vision for the school year and our goals. So that's kind of just a brief overview. We'll have a formal document by probably the end of July that Danielle will have shared. There'll be a lot of different workshops and different things related to different curriculum areas. And quite honestly, you have folks doing a lot of different things. You have some times where they're all together, but most of the time they're split up to be elementary, middle school based, high school based. We're going to also build in, I'm working with Danielle on bringing in a presenter to talk a little bit about classroom management, social emotional, some of the things that our kids come to school with each and every day, and kind of how we manage that. And we're set in our classroom for a lot of it.
So just to follow up, when you talk about working on curriculum and I guess department specific, is there some professional development that goes on some of these days? Maybe at not at the beginning of the year, it makes good sense that you're kind of getting ready on new systems and things like that. It's a lot of sense, like a lot of training. But is there professional development that goes on in any of these things?
Learning the new curriculum, is that what you're asking? Or-
Is that what, well, I'm actually looking for the definition from you. So if learning new curriculum is that all the teachers of the same grade are going to be teaching the same curriculum, that doesn't sound like professional development to me. That sounds like, here's what we're going to do for the year, but maybe you define it
A little more
differently.
than that, 'cause there's a lot of different instructional strategies and assessment strategies.
Okay.
For that.
Mhm.
You know, how is your lesson design? We talk a lot about small group instruction. What does that look like in your classroom?
Okay.
How do we take data to drive what we're gonna do from day to day in each lesson?
Mhm.
That's part of that. That's a huge part of what we're doing as a district.
Okay.
That will absolutely play a role. In those all days, probably in our November 1st day as well.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Hello, my name is Andrea Little. I'm from West Amwell. I spoke in April to the board, March, regarding a resolution that you were going to approve about the preschool. I spoke in detail about some information I had shared to all of you and then came back the following month and shared it to you in April by email to the board, but you don't have a correspondence with the email. And I shared the details of the information and the data of what was presented to the board back when preschool was discussed. I was not here at the May meeting. I'm maybe hoping that tonight you can discuss, because you had mentioned that you'll share, you know, if people have questions, you maybe can't answer them at that given time. Maybe tonight we can have that conversation since it's been since March that I presented these questions on our district, went out to the state, discussed that we were interested in the preschool program, funding up to maximum 90 students, which we know that's 6 classrooms. This was all done right before the referendum. Referendum took place with a school with 2 preschool classrooms in it, not 6 classrooms. Were we thinking it's a half-day preschool program? Were we thinking at that time that it was a full-day preschool program? But the numbers don't add up. And now we have a pre-K through 4th grade school that cannot house all of our pre-K potential students. And that still is really not resolved and discussed to the community. So I'd like for the board to be able to say, did you go back and read it by chance? If you haven't, when can we have this discussion? I don't think that this needs to wait until September when preschoolers are now going to be split into 2 buildings, when the whole point of part of the redistricting was to consolidate having our student learning be together progressively. And we're already starting brand new students in separate buildings. So were we always thinking it was a full day program? Was it considered a half day program? Are we moving them to West Amwell to keep West Amwell open for the year to help, like, the state's going to fund the building? Is that part of the reason? Even though we are part of the state and we are part of the funding because we are taxpayers. So I ask that if not tonight, when will you publicly be discussing preschool soon as start of the new year starts? And I think families deserve to know. If I had a preschooler, I'd want to know why they're in 2 different buildings. So thank you very much. That's all I have to say tonight.
I'll just share, we have a plan for next year, and that's not changing, so we'll have 3 classes at West Amwell and 2 at new elementary school. We just did a press release a couple weeks ago, I'm not sure if you saw it. It talked a little bit about the future and that we will be having information meetings in September and October. The board's interested in hearing the community's input as it's planned in 25, 26, what that will look like.
Excuse me?
No, I'm good. It's just, I'm saying the time was up, so.
Oh, I wasn't speaking.
I know, but he answered your question in 3 minutes was up now. So we gotta stick to 3 minutes.
Okay, I was,
So there will be.
thank you.
So there will be, we will have.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Diane Potts. I live in West Amwell Township. And I'm here to comment on the contract for Mr. Suazo for your salary. I thank you for all of your hard work, and I want to thank the board members for the time they invest in the community. My understanding is there's a 5.8% raise the first year. Is that correct? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you so much. The 5.8%, if I understand correctly, seems to be too exorbitant. Particularly at this time where so many people are having a hard time with grocery prices, gas prices, and also just in general, the direction of how the education is proceeding. It seems like we have less local students than we used to. Also the fact that, salaries compared to other superintendents. And also a key thing to me is the standardized scores. We want our children to be competitive in an international marketplace, reading, writing, math, and those scores have not been going in the right direction. So that's my comment, is that the 5.8% should come down. Thank you very much.
Are there anyone on? No. With that, I will close this first period of public comment. There will be another opportunity to speak later in the meeting. So tonight's meeting is a little different. This is the final meeting of the 2023-24 school year. So we do have a long list of administrative items that we need to take care of this week. Which is basically our school district, school years ending, the school year starts July 1st. So we have a number of schools related to that. I'm going to do it now. So, it's a long list. And what I propose is that we make a motion to approve the entire list. We typically do a consent agenda. And then, if anyone has any questions on specific items, we will talk about it. So I'm looking for a motion to approve item A to C.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on any of those items?
For item N. Just since I'm not familiar with this stuff from prior. Is that the same? Does that list of, it's the co-op? The list of, is there any changes or anything different there that would have been in years past, or is it?
The curriculum?
And-
We call this co-op here, and I don't think we've added anything.
No changes, right? So it would be,
We have to reapprove those every year.
okay,
It's simply it's an administrative
okay,
that we have to, each year we have to show that we improved our participation. So
okay.
we do look for co-ops. Co-ops are organizations that you can do cooperative purchasing, which allows you sometimes to get things under a certain threshold of say $50,000 or whatever it is. That can be cheaper if you buy it through one of these organizations. And so we actively use those and seek those opportunities. And there are how many listed here, 18 different co-ops that we use for purchasing.
Jim, just, for anyone in the public who's wondering why we're doing this today, I know school board elections used to be in June, which used to coincide with our fiscal year, which starts July 1. The fiscal year hasn't moved, but the elections have moved to November to save money on elections. But so that's why we do it in June, so that, we don't run out of money starting July 1, making our approvals at this meeting.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any other comments?
And I had one other question on the professional services thing. The item says professional services, and it's like such as attorneys, district architects, medical. Is that, but does that piece cover like consultants and stuff too? Or is it only what's listed there? Like,
So typically, it depends.
I'm sorry, I don't know who they are.
How we use that consultant, so it's something that we had to go out to bid for.
Right.
Or is it something that falls under, professional services, nothing to do with the reach out to the lawyer to
Okay.
get guidance for which you can get ready to get those. It's usually pretty limited to.
Okay.
We're still waiting on some of those. And we'll probably be out like 50%, the engineer, A couple of our letters, maybe for July. We can get this in.
And related to that, I would note that our past practice has always been that every 2 years, you want to look at all of your contracts, right? So maybe get new bids from multiple people. So we have an auditor, right? We have a contract with an auditor who audits our budgets every year. And that person has changed over the years. We have had different architects over the years. We have, you look for, you're always looking to make sure that you're not overpaying for the professional services, but you also like to have competent people that you trust. Any other questions? Is this a roll call vote? Yeah, okay.
So we will give Jim back.
Yes. 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 Excuse me, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Buildings, grounds, transportation, what's your one?
So we did meet, you'll see a long list of vendor contracts. Once again, those are just approvals for the following school year. Our vendor list, if it looks a little long, that's why. And those are all of our contracts, for any of the technology we use. I know that Brown and Brown, which is our auditor, is on there. Our what? Sorry, yes, SHRSD, which handles our policies. There's items for bids and we're accepting the purchase of goods. So, I highlight that, try to highlight that often, but Mr. Albanier, has consistently found items in our district that we no longer need, that we could still make a profit on selling on municipal bid. So you'll see that we're, accepting sales for almost $4,000. Those $4,000 that comes back into our pocket for other items. There's a resolution to approve our legal services. That is Borzio, Bromberg and Newman. That's the board's attorney. We've used them for quite a long time. I suppose we're very happy with their services. You'll also see we're accepting a bid for Portasoft. That's the updates to the district. So well room project. And that was our lowest and only bid as well.
For the high school.
For the high school building. We're also accepting some grant funding, so you'll see we're getting a rebate of $800,000 from the EPA for our clean school bus. Part of the clean school bus program. See, there's a few change orders at the construction site. And there's also, you'll see under here, there's flooring for the elementary school. Tony, do you want to, or?
Sure.
Okay.
So why don't we make a motion to approve all these items and then
Sure.
let's discuss, okay?
So I'd like to make a motion to approve items A through U.
Okay, so move, second, please.
Second.
Second by Martha, thank you. Okay, now we can discuss. Good question.
So yeah, I can talk a little bit about the change order. So as we wrap up the elementary project, we're kind of in the final stages. Hopefully we'll have it wrapped up by the end of July. There are some different change orders that are on here related to that. Specifically, there was some electrical upgrades we had to utilize and put in and install for the existing water heaters that were at our building. So there was paving done. We've been down there in the last day or two. They're paving both of the lots in front of the school. The hope is eventually to pave the lot next to the school, which is owned by the city as well, as part of the project. There is some DNR approvals that we need to go through that we haven't received yet in order to have that happen. It's probably not going to be done. It will not be done for September. But in the interim, we did install a pipe in the existing lot that we own in front of the school that eventually they'll tap into for that parking lot. So that is part of the change order as well. There's some foundation patching and they did some parging in the front of the building when they tore out the sidewalks. So there was some patching, some painting needed to be done. Wall patches, when we removed the old whiteboards. There was asbestos, but they were attached to the wall for it, so we did a remediation. And there's some additional patching that was required because of that. Louver infills. So all the areas where we had doors around the building have now been filled, and there's now about 18 inches of concrete that's there, where before there was an exit door. That's part of this change order that was implemented as far as the new HVAC system. And then another piece is one of the biggest pieces of the change order is, I wanted to show a picture for this one. So the flooring, you'll notice that we have areas, so all of our doorway openings there were not ADA accessible, right? They were only 30 inches, they need to be 36. So now, because they're 36, we have a wide space of 6 inches of concrete, and then there's some other areas based on the construction where we have gaps like this that need to be filled. We looked at a variety of different options for this, and what we decided to do is, this is all terrazzo, which if you know anything about terrazzo, it lasts forever. We have it in this building here in our hallways. So we're doing some patching in that area with the existing terrazzo to actually match the color of the floor in the hallways. And then what we will eventually do is grind that terrazzo, we will grout it and resurface it, and it will last another 50 years. So that's part of the change order for the elementary school. And then for the new middle school, there was some carpentry where one part of the building where the gym is and the addition for the classrooms meets. There was some structural steel enhancements that needed to happen based on our contractor's recommendation that our architects agreed. So that was a smaller change order. The biggest one is that based on West Amwell fire officials, they felt strongly that the reserve tank that we have for the sprinkler system for that building needed to be increased in size. Full disclosure, our architects felt like it is a masonry building, that it was adequate, but fire official disagreed. So we decided to go with the fire official, which means that we had to increase the size of the tank as well as the footing underneath of it. It's going to support the tank. So that's the majority of that change order for the middle school.
Are there any other questions on items A through U in your building? Or any other discussion? Good. Thank you. Let's vote.
Martha Dennis,
Yes.
Peter Bichetti,
Yes.
Brian Keith,
Yes.
Ed Colaski,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Michael Warner,
Yes.
Michael Johnson.
Yes.
Yes. Personnel Committee, Mrs. Bichetti.
The Personnel Committee met on June 20th at 7:30 virtually. At that committee meeting, we discussed the personnel action agenda for this meeting, including reviewing the superintendent's recommendations for appointments, resignations, and adjustments, and also recommendations for mentors and coaches for the 2023 school year, prorated and effective January 2024 to May 2024. The committee also reviewed the superintendent's recommendations for extracurricular stipend appointments for the 2023-2024 and 2024-2025 school years, listed as an action item on the board agenda. The superintendent recommended that the position of transportation coordinator be added to the board policy 4300, non-represented employees, due to the nature of that position. Additionally, Tony advised the committee that his contract, as well as the contract for Andrew Harris, the school business administrator, will be on the agenda for board approval at the June 20th meeting. The committee was informed of the current openings in the district, which consists currently of a high school chemistry teacher, high school ag teacher, a middle school counselor, and paraprofessionals for all 3 buildings. Finally, there's a discussion item which was an overview of employees who have left the district over the past 5 years.
So we do have a couple of things to move, right? A through C.
Yes, I'd like to move this.
Okay, thank you. Shetty, can I have a second on that, please?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Bachelor. You certainly.
So I just wanted to point out too, as part of this agenda, the board has been negotiating with our administrative group and they were able to reach a settlement, the negotiation team. So that is on here for approval, which means that both of our collective bargaining agreements that expired June 30th, 2024 have now been resolved and settled. So the first was our bus drivers that was reached agreement and now with our administrators. I just wanted to point that out. And I also wanted to mention, Gina had mentioned about some of the positions that are open, but you'll notice on the agenda, since our meeting, we have someone on the agenda tonight for chemistry, ag, and the counselor. So right now, we're in pretty good shape as far as staffing goes for the 24-25 school year. Very good.
And I'll also mention that this evening, as was brought up, the board will be voting on new contract for our chief school administrator as well as our business administrator. The board, and particularly our excellent negotiations team, have invested significant time this spring doing due diligence. And that contract has been vetted and approved by the State Department of Education through the Office of the County Superintendent of Schools. On behalf of the board, I'd say that since starting at South Hunterdon in July 2020, our superintendent, Mr. Suzo, has worked diligently to improve the educational experience for our students. And we look forward to continuing this essential work over the next 5 years. And I will ask Mr. Kowalewski, who is heads of our negotiation committee, if you want to say some things about the details of the contract. There was a question in the audience.
Sure, there was a question from the audience, about a 5.8. There was some misleading information that document you see online listing the Hunterdon County superintendents is not accurate. Doesn't even have our superintendent's accurate information on it. Most of those people on there are a K through 8 superintendent. Our superintendent's a K through 12. So there's going to be variations with that. But the document that you're looking at online or that you've seen or were sent is not accurate at all. Most of those superintendents are making more than that. What's on that document right now, based on that document was put out in 2021 for the 22-23 school year. Doesn't list 24-25, which we're about to enter as of July 1st. And during that time of those 11 superintendents could have renegotiated their contracts. And if they were in their contract, whatever raises they were agreed to for that year would have been added to that. So that document is kind of worthless because it's not accurate. So his contract, which you made reference to as a 5.8% increase, that's also not accurate either. So he was, due to make, approximately, I'm going to say approximately because I don't know the number down to the cent, so nobody can hold me to it. Starting July 1st, 199. So if you take 3% of that, it comes out to about 204,533, which is only about a 3% raise, which is a tiny, tiny thing after that to make it to even 205. So you were misled on the information you were giving, plus all the rest of the superintendents have considerably increased on that document also, since that was posted in 2021. And that's, that kind of hurts the board and the district with misinformation being floated around the town, which I'm glad you came and asked so we can provide you with the accurate information. We do not have a current list of updated salaries for the 24-25 superintendents of Hunterdon County. You can jump into.
I will say that, so for example, the superintendent at Hunterdon Central, they are hiring a superintendent. They are looking at a starting salary of at least $235,000, maybe more than that. That's what's been reported in the press. The North Hunterdon superintendent is in the middle of his contract. That contract expires in 2028. He will make over $237,000 this coming year. By the end of that contract, we'll be making over $250,000. The contract that we are approving tonight from Mr. Suzo, we greatly appreciate him, but it does not make him the highest paid superintendent in the county. It does not make him the second highest paid superintendent in the county. It does not make him the third or the fourth highest superintendent in the county. Okay. I used the language vetted and approved earlier. I do want to explain that the county, there's a State Department of Education and a county superintendent of education, and they are required to look at all of these contracts and analyze them and see the percentage of administrative costs that we are spending and how that matches up to our size as a district and things like that. They have done that, and they have told us that this is a contract that is a fair contract for our district. a fair contract hopefully for all parties.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of what Jim said. Every year, every time there's a contract for our business administrator or our superintendent, it has to go to the county superintendent. His job is to go through that contract with a fine tooth comb to make sure there's no irregularities. Because he compares that contract to other contracts in Hunterdon County with districts our size. And if there's any irregularities or anything like that, he kicks it back to us with either questions or say, no, you can't do this. This is too much. With both of those contracts, he looked at them very carefully and sent them back to us with no changes to be made. So that means the county superintendent thought that they were a fair contract for the taxpayers, most importantly, the district, the board, and also, Mr. Souza thought it was fair for all parties involved. And that's why the county superintendent does that type of vetting and has to approve the contract. It did come back to us with no changes to be made. So he assured us that the contract was in line with the other districts our size. And that there was nothing that we were trying to pay him that wasn't, out of the ordinary.
Does anyone on the board have any other questions related to these contracts or related to any of the other personnel matters?
Jim, I'd just like to ask the hypothetical. We could have offered Tony a 5.8% increase to his contract, but that would have been rejected by the county superintendent essentially.
Yeah.
And that has happened in the past with other districts.
Yep.
That's happened across the state. So we made a fiscally responsible choice and the county superintendent signed off on that choice.
Anyone else have anything they would like to ask about or discuss related to personnel? Okay, if we're comfortable, then let's go.
Starting with Jim Bichetti,
Yes.
Brian Keating,
Yes.
Kevin Kowalski,
Yes.
Mike Schmidt,
Yes.
Megan Wood,
Yes.
Kevin Baxter,
Yes.
Mike Evans,
Yeah.
Jim Gallagher.
Wholeheartedly. Yes. Moving on to curriculum and technology. Right?
I was
Well,
not,
that's there.
and that was out of town business.
Yes, that's right. So. I would, but I'll let you.
Yeah, sure. So, our big focus, and Miss Lennon, is on vacation this week, typically would be here, but, we really focused on, and information is gonna be coming out to parents and really in the next couple of weeks, we talked about this at school community. But we really are launching next year a rigorous dual enrollment program. And what I mean by that is it's the opportunity for our students in our school district to partner with, and right now our partnerships will involve TCNJ, Rowan University, Stockton University, William Patterson University, as well as Redwood Valley Community College. You'll see on the agenda tonight, there's some dual enrollment program memorandums of understanding that we're signing to partner with these schools. What that means is we really want students as they enter into ninth grade, so not 11th and 12th grade, but ninth grade, really evaluate their opportunities to be able to sign up for dual enrollment credits, meaning that not only will they get high school credits towards graduation, if they get a C or better in the course, they will get college credits towards their college education at a significantly decreased cost. So for example, the cost for dual enrollment range anywhere between $250 to $400 or $500 a course. The $400 or $500 courses are actually 4 credits. Our goal is for kids, hopefully when they leave South Hunterdon, to get a year of college under their belt before they leave, or maybe even an associate's degree if you plan it out properly. You will see when we share the information with the community that we have a bunch of courses, starting with ninth grade biology, which is going to be a dual enrollment course, leading all the way up through other courses, cybersecurity, English courses, science, math, all kinds of different courses. There's a long list. So we really want parents and students in middle school and 8th grade to really start thinking about what their path is and to try to take advantage of that. Obviously, if you take, a class that maybe like a TCNJ, it could be $1,500 to $1,800 for a class, where here it's going to be probably $400. So there is a huge savings there. We know how expensive college can be. We're also working with William Patterson, which is going to provide us automatic acceptance for a student if they take one dual enrollment course and get a C or better. So if they were to take bio in ninth grade, right, and they were to get a C or better in bio, they are automatically accepted into William Patterson University if they decide to go down that road. So again, tons of opportunity. That was the majority of our agenda. We're developing an FAQ that we're going to send out in the next couple of weeks to provide more information to parents. This will be a big part of our barbecue that I mentioned before for our 7th and our 9th grade parents to really get them to start thinking before the school year even starts. And then students will have a time period in the first couple of weeks. Doesn't have to be done before school starts. In the first couple of weeks, if they want to decide, I want to take this course and I want to also take it as a dual enrollment and have it registered. So that was the majority of our conversation, and we're hoping that it will be an exciting educational experience and also save our students and our parents money in the long run for college.
So we do have some items to move. Right, so items A through D on the motion.
Make a motion to move items A through D.
Thank you, Megan. Need a second? Thank you by Michael, thank you. Any discussion on items A through D? Let's vote.
Freddie Keith,
Yes.
everyone Westbrook,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Stephen Ward,
Yes.
Philip Patrick,
Yes.
Martha Jones,
Yes.
Jimmy Michelle,
Yes.
Kim Bennett.
Yeah.
Ms. Bennett.
Yeah. Policy Committee, we met virtually on June 10th. We have 4 items for the first read. The first 3 are related to, these are mandated changes related to a change in the New Jersey Administrative Code section related to protected categories and expanding that list. So those are all being incorporated. Those are 2 policies and a regulation having to do with equal employment, equal and equity policies. The 4th policy change for the first read that you see here is related to what was mentioned in the Personnel Committee, and that has to do with expanding the list of roles to include our transportation coordinator under the non-represented employees. So I think that is fairly straightforward and non-controversial. Then we have one item that is coming for our second read, which we've mentioned previously. This is adding language to policy 7523, school district provided technology devices to students to reflect the appropriate and expected use of technology devices and interactive media. If you would indulge me, I'm just going to read the paragraph that we were adding, and I want to read it because we would like to refer this to the curriculum committee for further discussion on functional approaches. But what we have added is that when district issued technology devices and interactive media are used in the classroom, it shall be as an enhancement to traditional teacher-led instruction, and their use shall be designed to augment student learning and engagement. Technology and interactive media should not be used to replace traditional learning strategy and tools, including but not limited to creative play, multisensory experiences, outdoor explorations, or social interactions. Teachers will be provided with appropriate training and support to understand how available technology can be used to best service student needs and or supplement project-based learning while taking into consideration the needs of individual students. Technology will be used in a way that is planned, balanced, purposeful, and proportional. We'd like to put that forward as a second read. Right.
Okay. Any discussion on politics?
So the policy language goes into policy, but then there's follow-up to curriculum. Is that how is that what you were saying that?
First read.
So this is for the second read.
Oh.
What I just reviewed. What we would like to have happen is to have curriculum take up some functional strategies to achieve the goal of the revised policy.
Okay. And this policy, what's the, I can't open that attachment. It's a interactive, what is the
It's
media?
actually it's the school, it's the technology, the provided technology to students policy.
No, right, but in the paragraph that you're talking about, the one that you just wrote,
It's right here.
it's, yeah. So we're
This is paragraph.
we're talking about,
Yeah.
interactive media. Does that mean like YouTube?
Yes.
That's all I mean.
It would be, yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
make sure that I was connecting, like, so, in being aware of when would we show a video versus when can we have that experience in the classroom rather than showing the video.
Absolutely, absolutely. Be very thoughtful about those choices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go. Using it, but, without, we were very sensitive in developing this language, not to unduly restrict teachers and what they could use, but wanting them to be thoughtful about the use of those tools.
And just so everyone knows, this is something we discussed over several meetings, so I thank policy for a lot of input and a lot of great feedback back and forth. So this wasn't one meeting and this was multiple meetings that we got to this point. So a lot of discussion. Any other discussion on the policy?
No, I was I'm ready. I'm just ready.
Oh,
to
you're
vote.
ready.
No, no.
Anybody else, discussion? Not, then let's vote.
Yes.
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 Sorry, Jennifer Batson.
Yes.
Yes.
Peter Michelle.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. School and community, Mrs. Todd Marino is not here. But she did post along, oh, Michael.
Yes,
Go to town.
so we met on 6/18 virtually. And we had a discussion first about the PTO reorganization and how that is coming along. Also how the PTO and parents will be kind of dipping into these new school buildings. There was talk of what events would continue and what traditions and parent involvement would continue, including Mystery Day or Mystery Readers and Field Day. So we'll be looking to them, obviously, to partner in the future. We also discussed a new state regulation. This is a big leap here. That we are required now to provide feminine hygiene products to all students in grades 5+ in at least 50% of the bathrooms. We are going to be at 100% next year, and it will be addressed over the summer. We also, as Tony talked about in curriculum, talked about the dual enrollment program in the lens of school and community and really how the program can be launched effectively and expanded over the next few years, get parents and students the information that they need. We've already had some outreach to families, but we'll be continuing on with that. We did talk a little bit about timing of that and moved up some of the timing just based on some feedback within the committee. A committee member also brought forward a communication around a program to limit cell phone usage and really trying to rally parents around a program called Wait Until 8. And we also are going to be looking to partners within our community to help implement some of that communication and also start seeding some of that within the kindergarten welcome packets, et cetera. We also talked about the Gripper app. So that is going to be a social media design tool, basically like Canva for athletics. And we are going to be instituting 2 licenses for that. In the next year, it'll start with athletic directors. And basically thought on that is that it's a really good tool to enhance visibility for college recruiting for our athletes. And then finally, we talked a lot about future-looking strategic plans and using high attendance events like the barbecue to get some information out there, some ways to facilitate community engagement around holidays. We had an initial discussion on creating an alumni network and also kind of started seeding some future focus group ideas for parents and community. And we did think that the climate survey that was referenced earlier is going to also help us in informing this.
Okay, nothing to move there, but we do have one other thing to move under routine information items. So each month, we have a harassment, intimidation, and bullying report of things that happened in the school district over the previous month. That was discussed at last month's meeting in the executive session. And so now they're bringing that forward, to, per the superintendent's recommendation, to approve that, HIV report. So I will need this, the voice vote, I will need a motion to
So
approve by Megan, thank you, and a second.
second.
Okay. Can't really discuss anything about it in public session, but all in favor? Is there anyone opposed? And is anyone abstaining? You know, one of abstaining. Okay, well, two abstentions. So that was passed by a 6-0 vote. With that, we come to the second period of public comment. Just like the first one, if you have something you'd like to bring before the school board, please come to the podium, let us know your name, the community you're from. Finally, we ask you to just try to keep the comments to about 3 minutes. Does anyone have anything they'd like to bring before the board?
Hello, Andrea Little, West Amwell Township. I apologize that I took that 3 minutes and didn't let you finish what you wanted to say to me, so you can use that time now. If you had something that you were cut off on. My only point was, I think that the community does need and deserve some communication on this sooner than later. I do ask one thing when you are communicating. Did the school board, were they aware of this? Because I don't see it in any of the minutes. So it could have been in a committee meeting that wasn't published. I'm not seeing anything prior to the application going to the state about the preschool program, you know, just putting it out there that there was an application showing interest. Was that brought to a committee? Was it brought to the president? Was it who was involved in this decision making? Again, I'm not opposed to a preschool program. That's not the point. I'd like to just understand the time and action of those events, only because of my concern of not having space. Of the preschool program now and the future of the program. As well as wanting to understand what's going to happen with the West Amwell school and it's for sale, because the community, as you know, is looking at higher costs in general, and it's a tough time. And we were promised that that building was going to get closed because we don't need to have 4 buildings for a small district. And then last on that, because I know hopefully we'll be hearing from you soon on all of that, so I do appreciate it. Just to clarify, I don't know when you're talking about salaries, I'm unfamiliar with the conversation about your contract. Congratulations. But just in March, there was a publication put out in Democrat having the year of 2022, 2023 salaries for superintendents. It wasn't 2021. So it was at the 189, so it would be an 8.5% over the
No, they're
years.
all, that's inaccurate,
Okay, I'm just letting you know that it was published in the newspaper.
but it's still
So
inaccurate.
It's okay.
it's okay that I'm not stating whether it's accurate or not. I'm just letting you know it was in the Democrat, so perhaps that's where some information came from.
Democrat reporters, maybe we'll have to go back and look at their information.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Did you have anything you wanted to add? Okay, so we will have those conversations. We'll have those discussions. Thank you. With that, we do have, the board does have a need to go into an executive session this evening. I anticipate that will take maybe half an hour. There will be no action taken after that executive session. So we will leave the room. You are welcome to stay, but you do not also need to stay if you don't wish to. So we will have a 5-minute recess before we go into that executive session. With that, I'll ask, can we have, I'm sorry.
Were there any comments online?
Oh, no, I didn't even think to interrupt, but there were no comments. Yeah, thank you, Gina, thank you, I appreciate you catching. So I will need a motion to go into the executive session at 8:06 p.m. So moved by Megan, second, and second by Kevin, thank you. All in favor? Aye. And with that, we'll have a 5-minute recess and meet in our usual meeting.